Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the first edition of Rooted in Resilience webinar. This two-day webinar was hosted by NextGen AgriVoices in partnership with the Entrepreneurship Development Institute in celebration of Global Entrepreneurship Week 2025. NextGen AgriVoices is a storytelling and learning enterprise that works to amplify Africa's agricultural ecosystem through storytelling, learning, and strategic communications. Global Entrepreneurship Week is a global movement under the Global Entrepreneurship Network celebrated in over 200 countries. Entrepreneurship Development Institute is an autonomous quasi-governmental institution under the Ministry of Labor and Skills, leading Global Entrepreneurship Week implementation in Ethiopia. So Rooted in Resilience webinar brought together young agripreneurs from across Africa to learn from each other, exchange honest experiences, and build meaningful connections within the agricultural ecosystem. Agriculture still remains the backbone of our continent's economy, and this series highlighted both the challenges and the breakthroughs that youth and women continue to navigate. It created space for real stories. So across the 2 days, we heard speakers from multiple countries across Africa offering perspectives that showed how connected our experiences really are. This was the power of cross-border learning. It reminded us that we are stronger when we share insights, support one another, and grow together. So with Global Entrepreneurship Week's theme for 2025 being Together We Grow. Our hope is that this series continues to spark collaboration and community far beyond the sessions themselves. So again, thank you for joining us and welcome to the Rooted in Resilience webinar.
You may be aware, this week is very exciting week in entrepreneurship. It is a week we celebrate entrepreneurs, change makers, and those who are making our life easy. In Ethiopia, we are very, very happy to host this global movement. And EDI has been in this international movement, global movement for the last 12 years. And we have been providing different types of activities that promote entrepreneurship, celebrate entrepreneurs, and also bring together the ecosystem actors in order to create a better and a conducive working environment for entrepreneurs in our country. Today, I really appreciate the organizers who have been making this thing happen, who have worked hard to make this thing happen, particularly Meron, my appreciation goes to you. And also my colleague, Radiate, who has been playing instrumental role as well in making this thing happen. So thank you very much for organizing this thing. Maybe just to say a few things about why we are talking about agriculture in Africa. Agriculture is very, very important thing for Africans. It engages about 60% of the workforce. It is also a tool for realizing security, particularly for security, trade, and also economic growth. So agriculture is not just about farming. It is also about value chain. It's also about packaging. It's also about transportation. It's also about application of technology in agriculture. It's also about agri-financing. It is also about climate adoption. So agriculture really is an opportunity for African youth, I can say. So it is something that we can take seriously because it is one of the dominant sector in Africa. And it is going to be the dominant sector going forward as well. And the application and the adoption modernization of this sector can significantly affect the African economy and each different countries actually. So in today's panel discussion, I hope brothers and sisters from different parts of African countries are going to share their experience, which perfectly aligns with the Global Entrepreneurship Week's theme, which is we build together actually. So this is a theme that fosters collaboration across countries, across ecosystem actors. So we are going to look forward for African fellow brothers and sisters to share their experiences, and which could be from those who are implementing programs, which are also leading policy formulation and implementation in different countries. So this panel brought together entrepreneurs, policymakers who are very much interested in agriculture. And so I hope this discussion that we are going to have now is going to be helpful to learn from one another and to also develop a kind of Pan-African mentality toward this improving African entrepreneurship as well as agri-entrepreneurship. So without further ado, I would like to say welcome again, and I look forward for a very fruitful discussion, and also thank all the panelists who are available to make this thing happen and share their experiences. Thank you, Veron, and over to you.
All right, thank you so much for the very great opening remarks. So with that, we'll move on to our case study presentation. So how we've organized today's webinar is, as I said, the biggest thing I feel like we have within Africa is the experience and the learning from the different African countries, especially those ones who are highly engaged within agriculture. So we would have a case study presentation for 20 minutes. Our presenter is Mr. Fadel from Senegal. So he'll tell us about the company that he runs, how they got to be successful, what can we learn from them, what type of challenges did they have, what is the current business model even that they have to operate as an AgTech or an agribusiness within West Africa. And then we're going to do a question and answer. We're going to take 2 to 3 questions for Mr. Fadel. And then right after that, we'll move on to a 30-minute panel discussion where we're going to discuss again, what does it mean to succeed within the agriculture sector as an agripreneur within, again, the African context. So we'll have panelists that would be representing governmental institutions, private organizations, youth associations that focus on climate change and agriculture, again, within Africa, as well as panelists from academia as well. How is academia supporting agri-techs? How is it supporting agripreneurs? Because again, the way we're taught or how we learn is a big part of also creating successful entrepreneurs within Africa. So this is going to be the flow of our session today. I believe all of you have seen the poster we had, where we've also indicated that people who've invited to share their experience. I personally believe with my experience in the agriculture sector, these are the best people I feel like we can learn a lot from. So right after the panel discussion, we'll also take a few more questions from you guys, because we want it to be engaging as much as possible. Please make sure to write your name and where you're from in the chat box. By the end of this whole webinar, we'll also have a link for a group. We've created a WhatsApp group because we want this conversation to continue. So we'll send you the link in the chat box. Another thing I also advise everyone is we also want individual connections to happen here. So we have people, or we have an audience from different parts of this continent, you know. So we want you guys to connect on an individual level as well. So please keep sending your LinkedIn profiles in the chat box so you guys can connect, see what everyone is doing, and find ways to collaborate, learn, and share your experiences. Maybe you would be our panelist on the next series, because this is something, again, we plan to continue. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in on time. This is going well so far. We have 29 participants, including myself. So we have Miriam Mutao. Miriam, please tell us where you're from. We have Jonathan Tesfaye from Innovative Future Africa. That's an Ethiopian name, so Jonathan is from Ethiopia. We have Safisa from Ethiopia as well. So please continue to write the countries you're from as well as your name. Let's get to know you. Feel free to have your camera on as well. Would like to see you. I think we have only a few people who have their cameras on, but feel free to do that. Feel free to react using the column like at the bottom of the Zoom call. If there's anything you find interesting, if you have questions, please write them in the chat box. My co-facilitator, Dilawit Yarid, would be choosing the questions which we would be asking by the end of the presentation. So please do that. So next, we'll move on to the case study presentation by Mr. Fadel. I'll start sharing the document. Please let me know with a thumbs up if you can see my presentation. My presentation visible? Can you guys see it? Yes?
Yes, I can see the presentation. Thank you.
Perfect, Fadel. Yeah, continue. Please introduce yourself, and then also we would give you 20 minutes to do this presentation. So anything that you want, especially our audience, now we're 31 in this moment. This 31 group of people that you want them to know, please feel free to add, even though it's not in the slide. Again, we want this to be, less formal and more conversational. So please feel free to address any points that you think are missing from the slides. Thank you. Your 20 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much, Maron. Hi to everyone. I'm Fadel, General Manager of MANOBI Africa in Senegal and agCelerant Senegal, which is a sister company to MANOBI Africa. So I would like to thank you for organizing this webinar, and also I would like to thank you for the this weekend of agriculture entrepreneurship. So MANOBI Africa is specialized in 2 sectors, including water and agriculture. So today we will talk about agriculture with agCelerant, which is ag fintech. So as you know, agriculture can be improved with the use of technology and also good practices. So we literally are flipping the script of agriculture financing. So can you please move to the next slide so that I can jump to the... Okay, thank you very much. So we have actually a big import bill in Africa, about 5.5 billion USD every year. So this means we import 16 million tons of rice. If I take this particular crop, this is problematic because we have enough lands in Africa, and the bank, they have the credit lines, but unfortunately, they cannot finance agriculture because they don't speak the same language as the farmers. Can you please move to the next slides, because I want to do it quickly so that we can have enough time. So it's because the farmers, they don't get access to the credit. Actually, 75% of them, they don't get access to the credit. And the banks, they give credit only. I mean, when we look at the credit that the bank allows, I mean, gives to the clients in general in Africa, so only 2 to 3% of the credits goes to agriculture in sub-Saharan Africa. So in Africa in general, it's only 4%. So this is a small, percentage. So the growth is here. It's not a bad thing now because we know how to solve this issue. So it's a potential actually. Look at the growth and imagine the possibilities that you'll have as a financial institution or as a farmer. So can you please move to the next slide? The reasons are known because the bankers, they don't know the clients. I mean, the farmers, they don't know them. So they have difficulty in collecting all the information. They look at the risk in a classic way. So the volatile and individual risk, instead of looking at the project, because you have a chain, you have to look at the project management aspect of it. So it's the operational risk instead of an individual and volatile risk. So the other problems that the bank faces are lack of acceptable collateral, because the farmers, they have plots of lands, but in finance in general, the object of the credit cannot be also the guarantee for the credit itself. So we need to find another way of doing business or agricultural business. So can we please move to the next slide so that, yeah, please. So our approach with agCelerant is to flip the script, as I said in the beginning. So instead of having this hazardous risk, we move to a controlled operational risk, which means we have a whole value chain controlled and monitored within a platform, and this platform connects all the key actors of one particular sector of agriculture. Let's say if we talk about rice, for instance, we have the farmers. The bank don't know them, so we do the mapping and profiling of all the farmers and their land, and also we prepare their P&L, so we know how much they need per hectare. And we also organize all the suppliers. So it means input providers, service providers, and also we sign SLA, service level agreement, with all the buyers and off-takers, because this will secure the market. So instead of going individually and asking for credit, we put all the actors together with the insurance and the bank and the warrant. And then in this case, we have a project, a secured project with known elements. I mean, we have all the information, and everyone can also have access to the platform that we have put in place, and then we present it to the bank. So we have the market secured, the actors are known, and we have the expertise, the agricultural expertise. So can you please go to the next slide and see how this affects actually the sector? So this means that we are transforming by integrating the farmer into a well-defined operational project. So we collect accurate data, as mentioned, because we have agents on the ground who are collecting the information, the right size, and the needs of the land. They do the soil testing and everything. We coordinate the whole value chain, and then we have the stakeholders' commitment. For instance, for the rice, let's say off-taker, he has to open an escrow account within the bank that will finance the cropping season. This escrow account will have, let's say, 30% of the total value of the harvest. So this means when we do a good planning of the seeding, we know exactly when we will harvest. So every time we harvest, we give it to the off-taker, let's say the rice, the rice industrial, plant, so that he can pay. If he doesn't pay within 72 hours, this escrow account will serve as a guarantee for payment. And then the bank will deduct the payment there, so that the farmers know that the business will continue on. Can we please move to the next slide? Yes. So this means that we need also to improve our agricultural practices with good practices. For instance, using laser leveling to make sure that the level of the land is the same everywhere. So if you put inputs in the farm, it means that you will have the same amount of inputs everywhere when you do the flooding. Otherwise, you will get parts with a lot of inputs and others missing inputs. So this also will help to improve the harvest. And also we need to sow in a row. Those are good practices when it comes to agriculture, because when you sow in a row, you don't need to use pesticide to kill bad plants that are growing within the field. So you can just remove them handily, or you can use even, let's say, a mechanic way of removing the bad herbs, and then without compromising the production. And also we recommend and also put in place all good practices when it comes to fertilizers. We use biofertilizers and local fertilizers. We teach the farmers how to produce them by themselves. And also we use techniques such as alternate wetting and drying systems to improve the quality of the atmosphere in general, because it's let's say it's a paradox, because when you produce rice, whenever you do the complete flooding of the rice, then you are producing gas because of the vegetal material under the water. It produces gas, and this is not good for the atmosphere. So we have a technique which is called alternate wetting and drying. So it consists of cycles of irrigation and also of draining the field. This will prevent us from producing more gas, and will make the project bankable and eligible for carbon, back carbon, you see. So this also will help the farmers to raise more funds. Can we please move to the next slide again? Thank you. So to do all this, we have a mobile academy, actually, which is agCelerant Mobile Academy. It's a truck equipped with screens and tools that goes all around the rural areas to train the farmers and teach them the good practices, or train them to the good practices, financial education, and also train them about the insurance, agriculture insurance, about the guarantees, about how, if they work together with this system, using the platform coordination of all the actors in the value chain, how they can get finance, and also how will they be able to pay back the debt that they have collected without exposing their lands and all the stuff. So this truck actually goes to the rural areas. We hire people from the local areas, and then we train them. And once they are trained, they help spread the message and the techniques of good agriculture practices. And this is how we are able now to manage over 48,000 hectares of land in Senegal. So we have the same thing in other countries, including Benin, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and we do that with all of our partners. This one is done with the Germany cooperation, GIZ. So can we please move to the next slide, please? So with this, we have this particular mobile academy that will help us to collect all the data, train the farmers, and go to the financial institution. Then we prepare the P&L for the agriculture, for the farmers, and we design a cropping season. Instead of asking a credit for one farmer, we design a cropping season. Let's say we talk to the rice miller. He needs for this particular cropping season, let's say 100,000 tons of paddy rice. So we design the cropping season through our platform, using all the key data information that we have collected, and then we monitor all the cropping season for 6 months, because this is the duration of the cropping season when it comes to rice. For 6 months, we will have agents collecting information on a daily basis, working with the farmers, and providing information to the bank and the insurance, and everyone. Everybody is connected. Everybody can follow up the cropping season by using the platform. They all have their interface. So, and then all the transactions are traceable. You can see how much credit you have used so far. If there is a risk, then we can decide to stop, instead of going to a further risk and being not able to pay back the credit that were allowed by the bank. Can move to the next slide, please. So with this, we were able to get the attention of IFC, which is a member of the World Bank Group. So IFC is providing risk-sharing facilities for the whole value chain, from the farmer to the off-taker. All of them are secured. We provide guarantees for them, because the bank will need, at the end of the day, let's say 70 to 90% guarantees to fund this agriculture business. So with this risk-sharing facility for the entire value chain, we make sure that the farmers get the credit but we make sure also the service providers and the input providers, they all get the credit. Otherwise, if they don't get the credit, they will not be able to provide the inputs on in time, and this can cause delays and also reduce the production at the end of the day. So we do have contracts that we have signed with rice millers to secure also the production, because everything is designed and also based on a growth plan that is presented to the bank, so that we know the perspective that we have in front of us. So let's say if we have 5 rice millers, we can have this amount. But how about if we can have 10 rice millers? Because we do have the land and we do have the farmers. The rest is just to have an orchestrator to put all the actors together in the same value chain and make sure they are all funded right. And then we make sure that the funds are not used for a different purpose. And this, we can handle it by using the platform, because everything is traceable and all the payments are made after we can verify that the work has been conducted on the field actually. So this allowed us actually to have about 9,000 to 10,000 farmers in our platform and more than 48,000 hectares in our platform. So the strategy is to conduct pilots with different financial institutions. So let's say we go with bank XYZ. For instance, now we have PAMECAS during the rainy season. During the dry season, we will have additional banks. So we conduct pilots with the banks until we make them familiar with our model, and then we can go to the, how do you say, we can scale up, okay? So we do have also guarantees from governments such as FONGIP here in Senegal, and we have different guarantees also that will help the farmers to raise the funds, necessary funds for the cropping season. Can we move please to the next slide, Meron? So this will benefit to the farmers, because they get the access to financing, and also they have the operational system and long-term access to finance, because this is important. When we work with farmers, we design a minimum planning of 5 years. Okay, 5 years means 10 cropping season during the rainy season and the dry season, because we do agriculture with irrigation. So same goes for all the key actors, including the financial actors. Can we please move to the next? Yes, benefit for millers, because sometimes they have the capacity of transforming paddy rice, but they don't get enough paddy rice from the farmers because they are not funded. So we make sure that we secure their supply chain, and we make sure that they get access to financing also, and we improve their access to finance. Instead of asking 100% of your needs, you can ask for, let's say, 40% of your needs as a credit, because we will not deliver the harvest in one day. We have planned the harvesting. It will take, let's say, 1 month. So during the first week, when you get your first supply, your first paddy rice, you can transform and sell it, and then you will have the, how do you say it, the revolving to buy additional paddy rice. Instead of asking 100%, you ask for 30 or 40%, and then you run your business and get the revolving and buy again paddy rice. So this also helps them. We can monitor that. And also the traceability of the production, because sometimes when you want to go to international market, you need to trace your product. So this also we provide with the technology and the techniques and the platform and the expertise that we bring. Can we please move to the next? I think we are almost done. So it benefits to the financial institution. I think we have spoken about this because they have the credit lines. It's not because they don't have the credit lines. They have the credit lines, but they cannot fund the agriculture because they don't have, they don't know the farmers. They don't have a transparency. They cannot conduct it. They use only 3% of the credit lines that they have. So with this, we can solve this issue and also make sure that they will have sustainable growth, because when you jump from 3 to, let's say, 4%, the sky is the limit. When you start from 3% funding, the sky is the limit. So you can see the potential. So this is also to encourage all the financial institutions to fund the agriculture, because funding agriculture is different. When you put your money in another business, the business owner can decide to mobilize all.
I'm not sure if it's my connection, but can you guys hear Fadel? No? Fadel, I think we lost you. Okay. So I think it's because of the connection. Fadel, we can't hear you properly. Maybe try...
did progressively, and this allowed the financial...
Now you're back.
Thank you.
We lost you for a second there, but now you're back. Yeah, okay, continue. Feel like we lost him again.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
Now you can hear us? Okay, great.
Yeah, another one.
Okay.
So can we please move to the next slide? So we are doing this to help develop the agriculture sector. And of course, we do generate revenues across the value chain, because we have charges that we have to support, and also we are also doing business. We have salaries to pay at the end of the month. So this is how it works for us. So we are paid through the value chain. Let's say 3% from the production securement, 3% from the cropping season execution, and 2% from the cropping season preparation. Can we please move to the next slide? I think it's the final one. So thank you very much for your attention. I had to do this presentation in 20 minutes. So if you guys have questions, we are available. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Fadel. I think this was a really good deep dive into your business model as agCelerant under MANOBI Africa. So I think we've learned a lot, even when it comes to the rice value chain, which is quite popular within West Africa. So there's a few questions on the chat. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat box. We have Dilawit Yarit who will help me read. I think we have 2 questions for you. So we'll let you answer those 2 questions. So Adil, over to you.
Okay, we have 2 questions. The first one is, how did you build trust with smallholder farmers when introducing tech-driven solutions? I think this is for Mr. Fadel.
I think you can answer this one, and then we can go to the next one. Just in case if you're speaking, Fadel, now you're on mute. Now you're unmuted. Yeah, so we can start with the first question.
Thank you very much. This is a very good question. So during the presentation, I have presented this mobile academy that we have, agCelerant Mobile Academy. So with this academy, we go to the rural areas and meet the farmers, instead of waiting for the farmers to go to the banks. So this is how we build this connection. And also we have agents that we train, and we hire them from the local communities so that they can spread the message, and we do the mapping and profiling of all of our farmers to present them to the bank, in a project. So this is how we were able to go through, and also make sure that this is not a barrier for us to mobilize funds for agriculture.
Okay, let's go to the second question, I think.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. The next question is, what are the biggest challenges you anticipate when scaling this platform to other countries?
Yes, thank you for this very good question again. So the platform is designed to work, I mean, in a general, let's say, way, but we can adapt it to different crops. We use this platform for rice. We use it for how do you say it? Okay, we use it for cotton. We use it for groundnuts. We use it also for how do you say it? Come on, the anacarde. I'm sorry for that. So this is another crop. Just I forgot the name because English is not my first language. So I know the name in French is anacarde. Cashew. Thank you very much. Cashew. We use it for cashew. We use it for cacao and for different crops. So it means that we can adapt with the crops. I'm sorry. So for the different countries, actually the base is the same, and we do use this platform in different countries actually. And we also work with IFC, the World Bank, because we are pioneers when it comes to agri-tech in Africa. And we do work with a lot of agtechs even outside of Senegal. For instance, in Ethiopia, we work with Lersha. So yes, this is how we can deploy this platform to other countries, or work with agtechs that are based in other countries and make sure that this can be used also to raise or mobilize funds for agriculture in different countries.
Okay, thank you. The next question. What piece of advice will you have for someone who is in the first stages of agripreneurship and doing it passionately?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So my advice will be take your time, don't rush, because agriculture is all about passions. Make sure your model is sustainable, and also make sure that you have secured your market, because you have to secure the market first and then go to the previous steps. Otherwise, even if you conduct a good cropping season, you will not be able to get profits, because you need to secure the market. The other advice is that if you are not strong enough, don't go for perishable crops. I mean, crops that require, let's say, a cold chain. Because if you are doing tomatoes, or let's say potatoes, if you cannot store it or transform it, it can be problematic, because you will drop the price to sell it. Otherwise, you will lose all the production. So those are my advice, and make sure to know the business and secure the market. Those are the most important thing, and be patient and strategic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. I think we have time for one or two more questions. The next one is, so even with positive pilot results, many agri-tech innovations fail. So how does this affect other innovators in the sector?
So I think we have a panel session tomorrow that will talk about this issue, but we need to identify the reason of the failure. If you identify the reason of the failure, then you can solve it. Because in my understanding and in my knowledge, based on the experience that we have, you can fail for different reasons. Let's say if you face side sellings, it means that you provide the funds for the farmers and you have secured the market for the off-taker. But before you'll be able to harvest everything because you don't have mechanization yet, they can decide to to harvest and do side sellings. So you will lose some of the production. So to avoid this, you need to have, let's say, you need to secure the harvesting with mechanization. And to do that, you can use technology, and you can also use adjustment. It's not just about IT or AI or satellite imagery. It's also about expertise and knowing the field and also the crops. For each crops, you need to work with agronomes. They can help you to have planning when it comes to the seeding. If you don't, let's say you do it in 1 month, every week you do the seeding for, let's say, 100 hectares to 200 hectares. This will allow you during the harvesting time to harvest on a weekly basis. While you are harvesting on 100 hectares, they cannot do side selling on the other, let's say, 800 hectares, for instance, because the crops haven't yet reached their maturity. So this is a way to handle it. So some of the agtechs or the agritechs, they just, I'm not saying it in a negative way, but you cannot just replace the expertise, the agronomes, the human, let's say, adjustments with technology. Technology can be only used for support. When you use it for support to improve your methods, it will work. Otherwise, technology cannot replace the expertise that we need to have before doing agriculture. You need agricultural expertise, or at least work with agronomes, qualified agronomes, to help you do your business. Thank you. Hope I answered the question.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're out of questions. Does anyone have any other questions? Please post in the chat.
Perfect. I think those are the questions we have so far. Thank you again, Adil, for facilitating this, and thank you, Fadel, for answering these questions. I know some of them were a bit detailed, but I guess you have a lot of people within the sector who are very keen on understanding how you guys have been successful and what they can do to also implement that within their own space. So for the sake of time, let's stick with the number of questions we've already had so far. And then we'll maybe answer that questions later by maybe we'll send an email. We'll capture a few of the questions that haven't been answered. If you have any more questions, again, feel free to send it. Adil will capture those questions, and then we'll get answers from Fadel. And then we'll either email it to you, or we have a WhatsApp group we've created as well, so we can post the answers there as well. So I think let's move on to our next session, which is a panel discussion. So we have panelists here with us. So before I call their name, let me just make sure that everyone is unmuted, because we're having issues with that today.
Muted, yeah.
Perfect. Tamaskan, Rostam, Haila Mariam. I've sent a request to unmute you guys.
Hello, everyone.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much. All right. So we have a lot of questions coming in, some of them directly about the services you provide at agCelerant as well. Okay. All right. So okay, there's some background noise. Give us a minute. All right, perfect. So I think we can begin our panel discussion. So today our panel discussion is going to really revolve around how to be successful, or what does it mean to be successful within the African agripreneurship space. So for this panel, we have our presenter Fadel Kamara, who's the general manager of MANOBI Africa, or agCelerant, which is the specific business that they presented today. Also in this panel, we have Ato Temesgen Gabayo, who's the Digital Agricultural Service Program Lead from the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Institute from Ethiopia. We have Rostom Unas, who's the founder of Bio4Tech, as well as the chairman of the Consortium of African Youth in Agriculture and Climate Change from Algeria, representing North Africa. And then we have Hailemariam Mulugeta, who's the director of the Business Incubation and Techno Entrepreneurship Center from Bahar Dar University, representing academia as well as from Ethiopia. So these will be our panelists for today. I'll be your moderator. We'll try to make sure we keep the questions short. So we have a total of, I think, 3 questions for each of the panelists and 1 closing question for all of them to answer. For panelists, please make sure to have your camera on, as well as to keep the answers at least 2 to 3 minutes long, just to make sure we have enough time to cover everyone in this panel. So I'll start with my first question, and as I say that, I also notice my camera is off. So I hope all of you can see me and also see the panelists, the amazing panelists we've invited today to share their experience when it comes to African agripreneurship. So Fadel, we'll start with you. So this question, again, is based on the presentation you just did a while back. So you presented the agCelerant case study. So what would you say are the top 3 factors behind its growth and impact? Because you mentioned, I think, one of the biggest partnerships for agTechs out there, which is working with IFC, as well as all the different stakeholders that you guys have gotten to work with, including the banks, the millers, and also other stakeholders within the sector. So what are the top 3 factors behind all of this growth and impact you've created within agCelerant? You have 3 minutes to answer.
Thank you very much, Meron. So let's say the top 3 factors are not necessarily in an order, but these are the 3 factors, I will say. It's the platform, okay? It's the academy, mobile academy that we have, and we have the field presence with our agents. So now I can develop. So with the platform, we can do the orchestration of the whole value chain. It's like an orchestra with the maestro coordinating all the artists to play different instruments. So with this, you can have a project that you can present to key stakeholders, including the financial institutions, the banks, IFC, and other corporations. So the second one is the academy, because for us to have a field presence, we need to train the youth. With this mobile academy, we are able to train the youth, train the farmers, and for good practices in agriculture, for financial education, and also train the suppliers. Even the suppliers need to be trained, because when you design the cropping season, you will be able to reduce the prices of some of the inputs that you need to buy. Because when you connect one supplier with, let's say, 10,000 farmers, of course, he will be able to do more business, more profits, and he will have better prices. So it is good for him, and it's good for the farmers as well. So the other thing is the presence on the field. Without these agents, you will not be able to collect the informations. You cannot just have, let's say, a platform or develop a tool to let's say, improve agriculture without presence on the field. So the agents need to be trained. If you can have people coming from agriculture schools living in the rural areas, that's perfect, that's very good. Otherwise, you take rural people and train them to agriculture. I can explain more, but I think it's good enough. We have 3 minutes, and that's okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Fadel. So our next question is for Ato Temesgen from the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Institute. So the first question we have for you is, so from your work especially leading the Digital Agriculture Service Program at ETI, what are the patterns of success that you've observed working with agripreneurs which use digital solutions?
Thank you very much, Meron. I'm glad you made a very successful webinar, and thank you for inviting me. Actually, to be very honest, Ethiopian digital agripreneurship ecosystem is still young. We don't yet have many large-scale agritechs, success stories like those seen in Kenya and Nigeria. I was checking some report which was published, I think 1 or 2 years ago from BMGF and USAID, from the status of digital agriculture in low and middle income countries. We have about 1,400 agritechs or digital platform, but 45% are from Kenya and Nigeria. So, which means we don't have that much startups, agritechs. From the agritech side, from the digital platform side, I think in Ethiopia case, the government sector has a better platforms like 8028 farmer hotline, national market information system, electronic voucher systems, which are serving millions of farmers. Maybe from the development partner side, from the private side, we can name some of them: Digital Green, Lersha, and others. So instead of just a clear pattern of major success, what we currently observe are patterns of emerging potentials, which are important signals that the next generation agripreneurs can build on. I can mention 3 things. The first thing is we have a growing opportunity for innovators that solve real and local problems. We have challenges. So the few startups showing early progress are those that understand Ethiopian rural realities. I believe that can also apply for the other African countries. These are low connectivity, fragmented market, limited information sources. So these are the opportunities. So young innovators can design simple, practical solutions to address these gaps. The other thing is we are having a strong public digital infrastructure and platforms that innovation can leverage, which I mentioned before. these platforms like 8028 national market information. For example, we have 100,000 data which can be managed, which can be analyzed, and to provide insight for others who can utilize these things. So I think young entrepreneurs, agri-techs or entrepreneurs can use that one. The other thing is use natural digital fluency, a major untapped asset. We see, we have young, Ethiopia, Africa has young generations which are smartphones, which are skilled in social media, which can, manage, manipulate different, producing short content and things like that. So these are another area. So in general, I think the agripreneurs digital agriculture success story in Ethiopia has not yet been created. And I think I see many participants here. Some are from Ethiopians. So I think it can be yours. I mean, I see in the chat, in the chat, I see some, agri-tech digital platform. So I think it's yours. We have infrastructure. We have laying infrastructures, farmer profiling, national IDs. These are the opportunity. We have also a challenge. ATI is also creating some, something which can be built on. So I can say this for now. Thank you, Miron.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think these are good notes. I hope you guys have your notebook and pen ready to take some of these notes, because it's quite important also understanding, because these are the players. For those of you who are agripreneurs, as Tamasgan mentioned within this call, these are the players, the ecosystem players that you will find when you go to, at least within Ethiopia's agricultural ecosystem. So it's very important to also understand what is their reality, what does that look like, and how can you contribute to solve the current problems. I think something you mentioned is having simple and practical solutions is really important. Something also Fadel mentioned earlier is technology is not the solution. It's a facilitator. So please don't forget that. The smallholder farmers, the agricultural experts, the people that have been working within this ecosystem for a while, these are the main players. So again, technology is there to facilitate. So please make sure that you have that understanding, especially within the agripreneurship, agri-tech space. So our next question is for Rostom. I hope you're unmuted as well. Let me check. Okay. Please let us know if you can speak. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Okay. Great.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Hi. You can hear us clearly, right?
Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. There's a bit of a lag, but we hear you. Maybe let's try turning off the video, and then we can turn it back on once connection is a bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the question I have for you, Rostom, is to ask the chair of CAYACC. Also, you could explain what you guys are doing under that consortium. So it's a consortium of African youths working on agriculture and climate change. But what are you guys actually doing, and how many countries are you guys present? Because we have a lot of, again, young people who would really benefit from the network that you guys have created all across Africa. So maybe you could also give us a bit of a highlight on that. Maybe at the end of the call, in the WhatsApp link we're gonna share, we'll also maybe share links for you guys to join this association, because working together is always better, especially within the sector. So Rostam, the question I have for you is, so as chair of this consortium, so what has been the most important lesson in supporting youth-led agripreneurship in Africa?
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot for the opportunity to talk about the activities of Kayak, the consortium of African startups in agriculture and climate. Actually, I have been newly elected by vetting as chairman of the North African board representing kayak. So I'm representing Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Libya, Mauritania, and Egypt also. Sorry for the noise. Actually, we are in another event of Week Entrepreneurship here in Algeria also. Actually, for the activities of kayak, we are more focused on enabling agripreneurs and in agri-tech and in agrotech sector, enabling them in order to face the systemic challenges of climate change for the different regions of the continent. For Asia, for example, we have a lot of challenges because of the desertification problems, the fertility loss, the soil degradation problem, migration of the rainy band 100 kilometers northward. We are also facing a lot of challenges for other countries, and it's of problematics. Actually, the consortium in ability innovate to new solutions to tackle those systemic challenges. Those systemic challenges cannot be
Hi, Rustom. Very
faced
sorry, but we
by
can't clearly
state
hear
on its
you.
own or
I hope
its
it's
own.
not only my connection. Can you guys hear him clearly?
Okay.
Yes? No? No? Okay. All right. Maybe let's turn off the camera just to save some connection, and then we can only do the voice for this question maybe. Okay, good. We can't hear you as well now. Yeah. All right. Rostam, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, now we can hear you. Is your
Hello.
video off? Okay, I think we lost him. Okay. Yeah, for the sake of time, we'll move on to our next panelist, and then once he's back, we'll continue with Rostom and the question we had for him. So our next panelist is Haila Mariam from Bahar Dar University. Please let me know if everything is okay from your side. I've requested to unmute you. Okay, Haila Mariam, great. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Haila Mariam, again for representing the academia version of, again, agripreneurship or entrepreneurship. How do we create more entrepreneurs, agripreneurs from, university, from like TVETs? So how do we properly curate an environment for them to thrive in, let's say, while they're still learning or doing their first degree? So the first question I have for you is, so you work at the intersection of academia, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So what successful models of agribusiness incubation have you seen emerge in Ethiopia? Maybe you could tell us a bit about the incubation that you guys have within the university, which you lead, or you're the head of that incubation program. How has it really impacted the students within Bahar Dar University, especially those ones interested within agripreneurship?
Okay, thank you very much, Miron. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you're audible,
Good. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be part of this webinar, and I would like to say thank you very much, Miron, and for the keynote speakers, Fadel Kamara, for our panelists, Tamasgan, Rosman, and all the team who are available online. So my name is Halamara Murgeta. I'm a director in Business Incubation Techno Entrepreneurship Center in Barda University. Under our incubation center, we have a good and well-known makerspace, which is called Saifu BIT Makerspace. So I'm working on that. In addition to that, I'm a lecturer, researcher, and I'm the director for the incubation centers, which is found in Barda University. So at the question Meron raised, in Ethiopia, there are several models of agribusiness incubation that have emerged to leverage the country's rich agricultural potential. As Tamaskan says previously, the concept of entrepreneurship, the concept of digital entrepreneurship, and the concept of the incubation are not that much mature, but within this 4 and 5 years, that's good, and they are emerged. Especially Africa, and specifically our country, Ethiopia, it have good potential in agriculture. When we talk about the agriculture, it may be agri-tech, agri-service, or agribusiness. In that thing, to exploit that potential, among the emerged successful models, the first one is the university-led incubators. So in Ethiopia, there are more than 14 universities. Even if not all universities have an incubators, but most of the universities have good incubators. Among that, Barda University, as I explained previously, what I lead now, Jimma University Incubation Center, Adama University Incubation Center, Redwa University, Hawassa University, and other universities have good incubation centers. And those incubation centers play a great role in the agriculture transformation, or to leverage the rich agricultural potentials. For example, in Hawassa University, there are good things that they have incubated regarding the hermetic storage bags. And most of the university have good access with the mentorship and seed funding. And also those incubators support students and researchers, because the university have good access to students, they have good access to researchers. So those university incubators have play a great role for this agricultural potential extraction. And the university-led incubators they provide technology-driven incubation, technical assistance, business trainings, and networking opportunity. Furthermore, those university-led incubators apply good funding sources with the startups who are working on agriculture, like that way collaboration with that of like GIZ and BIC Ethiopia, which is supported by the European Union. Those two NGOs play a great role in our country, Ethiopia, to support startups in agriculture or in agripreneurs. The second successful models that are emerged are the private incubators. By the way, the private incubators, especially in our country, Ethiopia, applies a great role for the unleashing the potential of the country's agricultural potential. Among the private incubators, the Blue Moon, ISADIS, RNDD Group, and others play a great role. Those private incubators or incubation centers have focus on scalable agri startups, specific value chains, for example, poultry feed, innovation, and hydroponics. And those private incubators provide business training, mentorship, access to funding. And those private incubators have the good quality, and they are so effective because they are agile and market oriented. And the third most successful model that are emerged currently is the public-private partnership, which is the 3P. Those public-private partnership, like the Agro-Green Innovation Hub, which is supported by the GIZ in the local university, they play a good enhancement, and they are among the models that are emerging currently. And this public-private partnership that I mentioned in the Agro-Green Innovation Hub they use in coffee value chain addition and linking them to market and technology. That means they're working on solar dryers, traceable apps, and others. And the fourth one that play a good role in the agripreneurs or in the agriculture sector, which is emerging currently, is the agriculture innovation hubs. Those hubs serve as an incubator for agribusiness startup, provide access to resources such as funding, training, and mentorship. They often collaborate with university research institutes and provide sector players to foster innovation. Among the agriculture innovation hub that my panelist or colleague Tamasgan is working on that, the Ethiopian Agriculture Transformation Institute, ATI, is the good and the best that are mentioned in the agriculture innovation hubs. This institute plays a great role for the successful leveraging or exploiting of the country's potential. And the fifth one, and the last what I mentioned in here is sector-specific incubators are the well-known and plays a great role for the those agripreneurs. Among the sector-specific incubator, like the Ethio Organic Coffee Farmer Cooperative Union, they have train and market. They have good training in market linkage that are working on Ethiopian coffee or Ethiopian organic coffee. So those what I mentioned and what I didn't mention are the most successful models of the agribusiness incubations that are emerging currently, and that they play a great role for the exploitation of or the enhancement of these agripreneurs. This is all about the red question. Thank you, Miron.
Thank you so much. I think this is a good enough information. We have a few even questions being set in the chat box. Dilawit will facilitate those later. So also some of the audience we have, again, they're from different African countries. So how do the context of the business model, especially you mentioned earlier, how do they operate even within their own countries is something I feel like they would like to explore. So Idil will facilitate that once we're done with the whole panel discussion. So I will go back to Fadel for one more question, and then we'll discuss with the remaining panelists as well. I'm trying to check if Rostom has joined us back. Please let us know if you're back. Send a chat in the chat box so we can also conclude your question. Okay. All right, so Fadel, I'll ask you one question. I feel like we've covered interesting questions earlier from the participants. So this is one more question, just to finalize your experience sharing. So technically, this Rooted in Resilience or Rooted in like an African Resilience webinar was created or organized to foster cross-border collaboration, which again, cross-border collaboration comes when there's cross-border learning. So that's what we're trying to push through these types of webinars, where again, different like people from different African countries join to share their experience and then learn from each other. So when we come to AgCelerant or even MANOBI Africa, so what role does African cross-border collaboration play in sustaining your success story as MANOBI Africa as well as AgCelerant, especially since you guys are dominant more within West Africa? How has cross-border collaboration really helped you to expand maybe to other African countries. It could be again within West Africa, as well as within like the other parts of the continent as well. So maybe you could share that experience.
Thank you for the question, Meron. And I do believe that we need to work together in order to capitalize from each other's experience. It is very important because I can face difficulties here in Senegal or in Mauritania, in Benin, in Nigeria, and you guys can face other difficulties or same difficulties that you have solved already. So cooperating and collaborating together will help us, let's say, to not reinvent. Comment dire, to not reinvent, in French we say ne pas réinventer la roue. So we don't need to recreate the tire. Okay, so this is important to us, and in our let's say story, we have learned also from what other people do in Africa and also outside of Africa. If you are into rice production, we know that the continent that produces the most rice is Asia. So we do learn some of the techniques there. What is good we take, and we adapt it to our conditions. So this is what we do, and also we work with the financial institution in Africa, because it is important to work together with the financial institution that understand African realities. And this is something that we need to improve in all aspects. The agtechs and agfintechs need to work together and learn from each other. So a webinar like this one is something very important, because we will have the opportunity to meet key actors in the agricultural field, and especially agripreneurship and agfintechs. So we are open to work with all entities in agriculture in Africa. So we're good, and we share experience.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fadel. So the internet is a bit bad on Rostom's side. So unfortunately, I don't think you'd be able to join us. But we'll see as we move on to our next panelist, if he has time just to say one or two words, if the connection allows. But if not, let's move on to Ato Tamaskan from ATI. Okay. Okay. So Tamaskan, the question that I have for you is, I think you answered my next question, which was on how do struggling like agri-techs stop stalling and actually start growing. I think you've answered a bit of that in the first answer you gave us. So this next question really focuses on like stakeholder alignment and engagement, especially how do you work with the government as an agri-tech company or an agribusiness? So in your view, how can government and ecosystem actors better enable like resilient agripreneurs in Africa?
Yeah, thank you, Meron. Just to add on the previous one, yeah, I just touched on my previous one, but just to make it clear, you know, your question was success story or success, but you know, for 120 million people and for 19 or 17, 80 million smallholder farmers, the youth engagement, the agripreneurs, the agritechs, the digital platforms are not enough. We need a lot. Yeah, we are having a good enabling environment now from the government side, from universities, from other places, but we don't have that much. We can't proudly name agritechs, which did, for example, which have a clear business model, and most of them are donor dependent, which have a good partnership with business, which treats their product as in partner, as a venture, or as in partnership with businesses and things like that. Even they don't. We have a very promising thing, but we need to do better than that. So that's just with that. I will. I can just this is to add more. So even for the next one, I started just touching some of that from the government side. The government, first of all, the government needs to put a clear digital and agricultural strategies in Ethiopia, which we have now. Fortunately, we have Digital Ethiopia 2025. We have Digital Agriculture Extension and Advisory Service 2030. We have Digital Agriculture Roadmap. We have also NAFIR for the access to finance. This is very important because the Digital Ethiopia made a big difference for different actors to get engaged in the digital era, just to use for agriculture, for manufacturing, for IT, for tourism. These are the four pathways. So this is one thing. I think this shows the government commitment for that. The other thing is, my friend Haile mentioned the things being done by universities, by different incubators and others. But from it, I also mentioned there are some bold measures from EDI itself, MOLS, Ministry of Labor, and others institutions, organizations also taking bold measure. From ATI side, for example, now I was just mentioning to you earlier, we are launching Innovation Challenge. Today, we're launching Innovation Challenge. Who wants to, who has a good idea or prototype, or, they can compete. This is one thing, what can be done from the government organizing like ourselves. We have also agriculture-focused dignified employment for youth, which plans and which is working on, creating 611 jobs for rural youth, which is also another opportunity. We have also launching AgriLearn digital training platform. Youth can use that for, create their jobs, or, be entrepreneur and also contribute for the community they have. So this is another thing. So different organizations can have their own program, but they have to be, synchronized each other. So investment should be made on the interoperability, farmer profiling with national ID. This works also for another countries. And also blended finance, access to finance, reducing risk, de-risking for startups, for agritechs. These are very important, or these are something which need to be done from the government side, but not only the government. In order to strengthen the ecosystem, the development partners, private sectors, all need to contribute and create an enabling environment for youth to be more innovative, to be to come just to make agriculture attractive. Meron, you can be a good example. Your voice, your organization. We see you established a very few months ago, but you are doing amazing job. Youth should should see you as an example. You are working across Africa. Ethiopian youth, other youth, should take this example and contribute what they can to support their community. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Tamaskan, for the kind words, as well as for all the experience that you shared with us. As you said, I think one of the biggest things even I've experienced with my 2 years within the sector is Like duplication is a big issue. So that's why aligning with like public institutions such as ATI, such as the Ministry of Agriculture, as well as this webinar again is co-hosted in partnership with EDI, which is the Entrepreneurship Development Institute, as well as the Ministry of Labor and Skills. So for any young person who wants to pursue entrepreneurship or within agriculture, agripreneurship, making sure that you understand what is happening in the sector, especially by the public sector, is very much important. By the academia, like Haila Mariam shared earlier as well. It's very much important to understand what they're doing, and then what can you add on that? In what ways can you also be beneficial as a private sector actor? So I think that's very much important. So to avoid the duplication of efforts and to also understand where you fit in within the current problems that exist within that sector. So thank you so much, Tamasin, for that really good explanation. My next question is for Haila Mariam. So this question is, I'm also trying to make sure we don't really take much time from our participants. We're 1 minute, technically we're taking 1 minute, but please spare us 9 more minutes. So we'll try to finish within the next 9 minutes. So this question that I have for you is basically from what you shared with us, especially with the work you've been doing with Bahar Dar University, the incubation programs that you guys have under it, as well as the other universities you've mentioned earlier. We'll also share these details in the WhatsApp group. So please make sure to join. Adelaide is sending the links quite frequently, so you guys can have it on the top of your chat box. So please join. So the question I have for you is, what's one story from your work that really embodies resilience? So this is a moment to show what it truly means to bloom or to be successful or to grow within agriculture. So it could be an agripreneur that you guys incubated, a business that was incubated within Bahar Dar University's incubation center, as well as and just to add also for more information, Tamaskan had shared like the link for the innovation challenge you mentioned earlier, especially for everyone here who's interested to be a part of that. Please make sure to click on the link. Delawi will also make sure to copy the message Tamaskan has sent on the chat box into the WhatsApp group, so we also don't lose any information. So Haila Mariam, my question to you is, just to repeat, what's one story from your work that truly embodies resilience within agriculture, a bloom, a success within agriculture?
Okay. Thank you very much, Miron. Again, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. There are different agripreneurs who will be testimony for us to tell their story, to show their resilience. But due to time, I can mention one agripreneur that I am more interested in him. The one story that embodies resilience in agripreneur, named that of Mr. Gullat, who was a lecturer in Bahar Dar University and a language translator. But even if he is a lecturer and language translator, means that he have good income with these two sectors. But his passion is not only to gain money, but his passion is to exploit the agricultural sectors and to provide a great role on that area. Due to this reason, he started his own agricultural farm in a region, but he faced different challenge. That is, the first one is the climate challenge, and the second one is a soil challenge. In the first year, he faced different challenges, as I mentioned earlier. That is, the first one is the land he rented was covered by water, which is wetland. Before that, the land he rented is he plowed during the April season with tractor, but he doesn't have a dream, which is soil dreamers, and he just borrowed from the Bahar University and able to make it resize the land. But after 1 month, when he returned to his farm area, the land was covered by water. And even if, and he, within that challenge, he threw his farm area with crops. But the production was not that much. And also that the products are just devastated by different insects. And many of his friends advised him to give up, because they always advise him, you have good income, you are a lecturer, you have good office, language translating office. Why not you struggle with this one? They always advise him to give up. But instead of give up, Mr. Gullat decided to adapt it. And he changed the way to irrigate, bring that, the land he rented. Instead of throwing a crop, bring summer season in Ethiopia from June, July, August, he decided to bring winter season with irrigation. But the area he wanted to irrigate have no access to water. The area is more far away from Lake Tana. And he just rented excavator, and he make a canal from Lake Tana to his area. And with a pipe, he can able to just form a water reservoir and able to irrigate his land with sprinklers and drip irrigation systems. And during that one, he reached out to the local agriculture extension. He guided to remove the insects. Then the community workshop and with that of the agriculture extension have the access to solve that problem. Despite the odds, Gullat's determination paid off. After that several challenges, he successfully harvested diverse array of vegetables, which is not only a tribe but were also well received in local farmers market. His resilience transformed his farm into community hub, where he shared knowledge with other aspire farmers face similar challenges. So Gullat's journey exemplified what it means to bloom in agriculture. Through perseverance, innovation, collaboration, he turned challenge into opportunity. His story inspired others in his community to pursue their agricultural dreams, provide what with the right mindset and support, even the toughest circumstance can lead to flourish success. So what I've just learned from him is, with resilience, with persistence, the one who is working on agripreneur becomes successful finally. That's all about. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Haila Mariam. That was a very interesting story that you shared with us. I think lived experiences like the ones you shared are so important, again, for everyone here who's in this webinar to reflect, to look at themselves. How does that look like in their context? There's always something to reflect on. So thank you so much for that really good story you shared with us. So this is the last question I'm going to have. It's going to be a closing question for each of the panelists. Unfortunately, Rostom texted that his internet is really bad, so he won't be able to join us continuing this this panel discussion. But this is for Fadel, for Temesgen, as well as Haila Mariam. It's one common question that I have for the three of you. So we have a lot of agripreneurs, agribusiness owners or founders here in the call or webinar with us today. So if there's one message, if you could give them one message for an emerging African agripreneur, especially for the youth and women, what would it be? So something for them to look forward to really either like to really work on, maybe if there's anything that you want to share. So one piece of advice that you would like to share with them. So with that, we'll close today's webinar. And we'll also give some call to actions for people who want to join tomorrow's webinar as well. So I think I'll start with Fadel, and then Temesgen, and then Haila Mariam. So any piece of advice that you have for young agripreneurs within Africa. Fadel, we can start with you.
Thank you very much. Piece of advice. Okay, let's say be patient, secure your market, and be an expert before putting your money. Yeah. Otherwise, you will regret it. And the failure is not a bad thing, because you will learn from this failure and adapt your model and strengthen it. So this is my advice. And if you can work in group, it is better. If you can find an AgTech that can put you in an operational project instead of asking credit individually, because you will face a lot of problems regarding the financial guarantees, the collateral guarantees. If you can work with an AgTech, please do it, don't hesitate. And for all the AgTechs, we are open, we can work together. And for all Africans, we invite you to invest in agriculture, but take your precautions before investing in agriculture. And we invite the financial institution also to invest in agriculture. It is a good thing for them because the growth, as I said earlier, the sky is the limit. From 3%, you can see how the growth can evolve. And also, when you fund agriculture, the money or the investment remains in the bank for at least 6 months. So this is a good opportunity for the banks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tamaskan, what's one piece of advice?
Yeah, okay, thank you again. So my advice will be, I think my final message would be, I think Africa is at the turning point. We have the world fastest growing youth population. We have the highest rise in food demand, widespread mobile phone access, even emerging technology like AI, drones, digital payments, and others. So the combination creates a historic opportunity for young Africans to lead the transformation of agriculture. So I think the youth, the agripreneurs, can start small, can stay curious, can believe that they can use their digital skill that can solve real agricultural problems. The youth don't need to have land to be agripreneur. They can be innovative. There is opportunities, digital advisory, agri fintech, logistic, aggregation, content creation. Content creation. Youth are doing so many things, but they have to ask themselves: is that something which can be meaningfully contribute to the community? They have to ask that. They can also work on the climate service. This is opportunity, market linkage, value addition, food processing. All these are the opportunity in the agriculture. So agripreneurship is not just a business, it's a nation building. It's a community building. The next generation building. It's about feeding Africa. So I think these African youngs are a digitally empowered generation. The generation this time are very digitally empowered, comparing to what we have before. Even from ours, the one coming now is, more digitally capable. So they have to use that to build solutions that can meaningfully contribute to the agriculture, to the community, to the nation. That's my message. Thank you very much, Meron.
Thank you so much, Tamaskan. So as he said, build meaningful content, have meaningful contributions for the sector. That is the last word for the youth. Haila Mariam, let's get your last word or a piece of advice.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Meron. What was my final message for the whole agripreneurs is that the first thing, build a strong network with your fellow entrepreneurs, mentors, institutions to learn, collaborate, and secure support in order to overcome challenge. Because your network is your net worth. So building strong network is the fundamental one. Second one, the challenge you face can be transformed into opportunity through creativity, resilience, and community support. So we have to just accept every challenge, because at the back of the challenge, there is an opportunity that we have to exploit it. A third one, what I wanted to advise them is that your journey is not just about building a business, especially for agripreneurs. So your journey is not just about building a business. It is about building more food secured and prosperous future for Africa. And believe yourself, stay adaptable, never underestimate the impact you make. Because when we are trying something, there may be different errors may happen on that. But after so many errors, we'll be perfect, we'll be successful. So we have to believe ourselves. And the final one, leverage the power of your use, creativity to embrace technology and innovation in every aspect of your agribusiness. So we have to work from precision farming to market access. This is all about what I wanted to transfer for my colleagues and for the whole agripreneurs. Thank you very much, Miro.
Thank you so much, Aila Mariam. That was really moving. As you said, like never underestimate your impact. So everyone, again, who's here starting out, whatever type of agripreneurship or in whichever value chain you're also working in, never underestimate your impact because everyone had to start small at some point. So trusting the network you build, making sure that you collaborate, work with others is very much important as well. Thank you so much to our panelists. We can give them a virtual round of applause. Use your emojis, which is the react button at the bottom of the Zoom call to give them a round of applause. Thank you both, Fadel, Tamaskan, and Haila Mariam for taking time. I know it's a Wednesday, for taking time out of your Wednesday from a working day and then sharing your experience with us. I believe the youth so far registered, as well as the ones that were able to join us during this call, have learned so much from your experience. So as Adil has been sending on the chat box, we have a WhatsApp group where we will share, number one, contact information for Fadel, Tamaskan, and Haila Mariam if you want to have further discussions with them, because we were seeing a lot of questions. Also, if you just want your questions answered, Adil is posting all of the questions from the chat box into the WhatsApp group. So we'll send the answers in that group as well. And just something I wanted to mention is, so today in this webinar, we have not only agripreneurs, but different people who are interested in agriculture from North, East, and West Africa. I think that is something amazing. So we got a chance to learn from each other, to share experiences, and potentially collaborate. That is what we're hopefully looking forward to. As Next Gen Agri Voices, we were the ones who organized this webinar. So Next Gen Agri Voices is an initiative or a business partner that focuses on storytelling and learning, which is a big part of agriculture. So we think there hasn't been enough storytelling and learning and communications for this sector, hence why we started it. So we think the best way is to learn from each other, to tell each other stories, and potentially collaborate at the end. Thank you everyone for joining. Please make sure that you join the WhatsApp group in the link. We'll share all of the opportunities also shared by ATI, Fadel is inviting you guys to work with him. So anyone interested within West Africa or in the countries that agCelerant is active in, please make sure to connect with him, as well as regarding like Haila Mariam, how does academia play into agripreneurship? I feel like that's something to explore. I saw some other people from universities across Africa joining the call as well. So how do we implement this in other parts of the continent? I feel like that's something interesting to explore. Again, thank you everyone. Thank you Dilawit for co-facilitating this webinar with me. We've taken more time than I said that we would take, but again, I feel like it was good content. So we'll share more information within the next few days. Again, thank you everyone for joining. Have a good, I don't know where you are within Africa, so have a good afternoon, morning, evening. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.